Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing an interview over the full Circle Ranch Saga Book 1, The Locket Secret.
All right. As Elizabeth said, we're doing an interview today. She is a young Cherokee author and she asked me to come on to conduct this interview. So my first question for you. I love to read. I know you're an avid reader as well, and we have several different authors that we have on our bookshelves, but who is your favorite author?
We had a lot of books, as you just said, but I think one of my favorite authors would be Gilbert Morris, author of the House of Winslow series, the Cheyenne Duvall series, the Seven Sleepers series.
All right. I also love Gilbert Morris. I have lots of books from him. He is a great author. So after you purchase and read this book, you should try some of his. So our next question, whenever we're writing something, whether it's a book for college, anything, we always come up with some writer block. So when you face that writer block and you're trying to complete one of your books, how do you handle that?
Well, sometimes I just keep writing the same scene over and over and over and over and over until future events develop. Sometimes I just have to stop and work on a different story because I always have a million in progress. And sometimes I just have to stop writing altogether and read someone else's book.
All right. So giving your brain a break.
Yes.
That's a great way to handle that. So when did you start writing?
Well, it seems like I've always been writing. Ever since I was really little, I've loved coming up with adventures which may or may not have made complete sense to the audience, but they were always fun and creative.
All right, so she's been writing since she was little.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take this in a little bit more and say, when did you start writing The Locket Secret? At what age?
I was around 13 or 14. The story was actually based on a game I and a couple friends of mine in 4-H played.
Oh, great. Now, for the book, The Locket Secret, if I remember correctly, you created the cover design, correct?
Yes.
All right, and what would you say to authors out there or hopeful authors who want to create their own book cover?
I'd say go for it. But one thing you do need to make sure is when you research publication companies, make sure they allow that. The one I went with did, so voila!
When we're writing, we always start with a draft, and anybody who's written anything, whether it's a lesson, something for school, a book, they know that from your draft to your completed, just your final, printed, turned in, published result, it can either look very similar, just spiffed up a little bit, or it can look completely different. So are there any significant ways that your book changed from your first draft to now?
Yes, one of the ways that my story changed was, as I mentioned earlier, I was younger when I wrote it, so I just let my imagination wander wherever it went. And one direction it went was making Daniel a pirate. However, when I went back and reread it, I'm like, is that exactly believable? So I actually took that aspect out to make it more a little more realistic.
We don't get any savvies in the book, huh?
No.
A lot of the books that you like to read contain history, and we know that those authors have to do a lot of research to write those books. Did you have to do a lot of history to write The Locket Secret? I
did do quite a bit of research. However, a lot of that was more fact-checking because I actually wrote my story and I'm like, would that actually work? And is that true? So I went back and double-checked my facts.
Okay, very nice. During your writing process, have you ever had any pets get in the way?
Yes. Not of the actual ideas. In fact, sometimes they inspire ideas. But during the writing process, I was writing on my bed one morning and my sister's dog was laying with me. And she was not happy that I was ignoring her, and she came and laid on my notebook and started chewing on my pencil.
Right now she's rubbing around our feet because she thinks we spent enough time recording this and we should be paying attention to her. All right, Elizabeth, this is a really important question. Are you ready?
Yes.
What is your favorite part of being a writer?
Oh, There's so many wonderful aspects of being a writer. And there's a quote by someone I just read the other day, and I can't remember exactly how it is, but it goes something like, a reader lives 1,000 lives, but a man who's never read only lives one. And I think the same thing can be put towards writing. You can live as many lives, as many adventures as you can dream up.
That is a great way to put that. And if you're not a writer, that's okay, because reading will help you live many different lives as well, many different adventures. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Elizabeth the other day, and I was telling her how sometimes it's really hot, and I sit down and I read a book, and in this book it's winter. And even though I am very hot in the house because the air conditioner isn't working or something, when we get into the winter part and it gets very vivid in its writing, I have to go get a blanket because my feet are cold. So have you ever experienced anything like that?
One way I explain reading to non-readers is how if a book is well written, the words disappear and you're completely involved in the world.
Sometimes we know that real life can inspire things in writing, and TV shows, Dick Van Dyke Show, real life events and circumstances inspired that, some of those episodes. So did real life ever inspire your writing?
Yes, in a couple different instances. One example is I incorporated coonskin caps, which somebody else also wore. Another thing is a lot of my character groups are trios, which, thinking back on it, makes me think that that came from the time when you, me, and our brother all hung out a lot.
Yes, very cool. I know we're all getting really excited about this book. I have some teacher friends who are really excited about this book, but everybody wants to know, what age level would you suggest to read and enjoy your book?
I would say 5th grade and up.
5th grade and up. And I would concur with that. All right, no extreme spoilers, but can you give us a little hint about what your book is about, or maybe some insight, or just like a little cliffhanger or something?
Okay. Well, The Locket Secret is set in the 1880s. It's about 3 girls who come from different backgrounds, and they meet and they discover a long hidden secret, and they have to overcome their differences to figure out what that secret is.
All right, wow. Do you have, so you said some people come together, do you have a favorite character in your book?
I would say probably Daniel.
Daniel, okay, we'll have to look forward to that. Now that you have completed your book 1 of the full Circle Ranch Saga, do you have any other books or writings in the works?
Yes. Remember I said earlier I always have a million stories in progress. Well, one of the ones I'm currently working on, and I'm very close to hopefully finishing, is The Warriors of the Land, Book 1.
All right, so that kind of sounds like it might be a fantasy book, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And what age, can you give us a hint on what age level you think would enjoy that book?
Probably the same age.
Probably the same age. Okay, great. Well, I've enjoyed interviewing you today. Be sure and let us know in the comments down below if you have any other questions for Elizabeth regarding her book, or about being an author, or if you're wanting to be an author and want to know what she went through to get that. Just leave those in the comments down below. And also in the description box, Elizabeth will be posting a link over to my channel where we do a little something together related to her book. So be sure and click on that link and check that out.
Bye!